It's day 3 past the transfer. I'm just hungry, but I think that's the hormones. I've been hungry all the time. I'm dying to take a test, but it's only 3 days. So I might take one on 6 days past, so in another 3 days. So symptoms-wise, I haven't felt anything. And I'm doing a lot of Googling on what symptoms have people had, because I feel like because I haven't felt any symptoms at all, except hunger and bloatedness, which is what I felt like before. I've had like loads of symptoms before the transfer that I probably would think are symptoms now, but I just don't because of all the medication I was having. I feel like in my heart, I know that it didn't work. So I'm trying to keep positive and I really want to be proved wrong. I don't know whether it's just lack of symptoms or just like some intuition that I feel like I've got, but I just think it's a no. Currently, no symptoms except bloated, but I think that's the meds. Hungry, but I think that's the meds. Yes, if I get any pangs or symptoms, you'll be the first to know. 5 days post-transfer. I had my acupuncture today, and my acupuncturist said the embryo was still on board because I haven't felt anything at all. And in my heart of hearts, I know it hasn't worked. But my acupuncturist said that there's still a chance. I'm not sure how much I believe in all that stuff. Like, I must a little bit because I've been going, but also I find it really relaxing. Anyway, I cracked. I bought these, and I knew as soon as they arrived I was just going to crack and do one. So I've just done one, and I'm scared to turn it over. And I just wish I hadn't tested now, because I'm going to look. But I was always going to test when I got the test, wasn't I? I would really hate that my period came and I didn't get to test. But whether my period comes, whether I test and it's negative, like, I'm still going to feel disappointed. I've got more chance of feeling disappointed testing today because it's 5 days post-transfer. Even if it had worked, may not show up today. Why am I filming this? Why do I want to film this disappointment? And I'm going to look. That is a full-on no. There is no real, I mean, the tiniest faint line, potentially. But am I just seeing things? Am I just seeing where the line would be? No, I think it's definitely a no. But there's like the faintest line. But I wonder if that line is really faint because that's where the line would be if it was positive. Like, you could never say that was positive. Like, you could never say that's positive, but like when you move it, it's like the faintest line. But I think that's probably like where the line would show up. So it's a negative. But I have 2 tests, so I'll probably test again tomorrow, and I'll probably test every day now until my target date. I can see where the line would be when I move it, like, there's the outline of a line there, like where it would be. But I think that might just be the test itself. I wish I really looked at it before I did it. Pretty sure it's a negative. I mean, I am sure it's a negative. Like, there's no point in even really showing you because, with the camera, you wouldn't be able to see anyway. Like, the test line is so strong. I can't believe, like, there's bad self-control and then there's my self-control. So I woke up really early because I couldn't sleep and I really wanted to do another test because it's been playing on my mind, the fact that I thought I could see a line. Anyway, I've taken the test this morning and I'll upload a picture. You probably can't see it on here. There is the faintest of lines. But you don't need to tilt it. Like, you can see that there's a line there. You can see how faint it is. So now I'm excited. I know there's a chance that it could be a chemical pregnancy where, you know, it starts to implant and then it just doesn't work out. But I don't know, I'm really excited. This is why I probably shouldn't have tested, but then I did want to know if I was going to have a chemical or not. I haven't told anybody that I've tested because I
don't want to get in trouble with my boyfriend, who really wants to wait for on target day. He's not that worried about testing though and stuff. Like, it's not like me, where I just want to know and I've got no self-control. He's obviously got more self-control than me. Maybe I'll test again this afternoon when my new tests arrive. It's definitely there. I'm not imagining it. I know I'm not now. Like yesterday, there was a huge chance that I was imagining that line, and it was like a shadow and you had to tilt it to see it. But that one you don't have to tilt to see.
I did another test this afternoon, and here is a picture of it. There's a definite line there. I don't care what anyone says. I can see a line. And I think you can see it in the picture now too. I'm trying not to get excited. I don't feel like it's a positive result yet, even though there's a line there, because my testing day is Friday, and I've been reading about chemical pregnancies, which is a worry. And that's basically a pregnancy that doesn't make it past 5 weeks. So it's a very early miscarriage. But a lot of people don't know that they've had them, even though they're really common, because you just think it's your period. I guess I'm going to be testing every day now and just hope that it stays there for the whole 9 months. It's so hard not to get carried away. It's so hard to not feel happy. So I'd say that's the risk of testing early. It's great because you'd find out whether you had a chemical. It's great because you're not laying there thinking, what if, am I, what if? But it's not great because you can't get happy. Whereas if I tested on Friday, it would have been like, and it was positive, it would have been like, oh my God. Also, if it was negative, it would have been really disappointing as well. So I did another test this morning, obviously, and the line was significantly darker. Line was darker, but I was like, I really want to get one of those clear blue digital ones, and I know they don't show up really early pregnancies like the first response, but I thought, you know, I obviously have loads of money to spare, so I'm going to go and buy one. Clearly I don't have loads of money to spare, but getting a bit obsessed with this testing lark now, so I thought I'm going to go and get one. Like, I think I read somewhere that you needed to have like 6 units of HCG, pregnancy hormone, in your blood for the first response to work, but you need 25 for the clear blue digital. Now, I don't know if it's true, but going on that, I was like, oh, it's probably not going to come up. But I just did it, and as you can see, so we're in the danger zone. I'm really scared. I don't want to tempt fate by getting too excited. You know, and my embryo wasn't a good grade. And I remember, like, when I was researching a lot about embryos, the lower grade ones are more likely to turn into like a chemical pregnancy or miscarry. So I feel even more stressed about it. And that's the kind of thing that you wouldn't be stressed about if you were like naturally pregnant. So yeah, but I think I'm just going to stare at this all day. Probably shouldn't be kissing it. I peed on it. So I did another test today. I didn't forget, but I wasn't going to necessarily test this morning, and then so I went to the loo, and then 10 minutes later I was like, no, I really want to test. I want to see if the lines got darker. Probably because I've just been to the loo. It didn't. It looks the same to me as day 7 and day 8. It looks the same to me. So don't know if that's worrying or not, but I did go to the loo first, so maybe that's why. I'm trying really hard not to get carried away with how I feel, and like I'm happy and excited. So I'm constantly like, you're in the danger zone, like, you know, this could be taken away like that. So like, be prepared for that. And I kind of wanted to know statistically what the chances of that are. And considering it was only about 25% chance that I would get pregnant this time round, the miscarriage rate at the moment is like 27%. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's not like in the majority, but It's not great, but they drop every week considerably. Just need to hang on. Got up and as usual I did my test first thing. The line just seemed lighter, which was probably because I was comparing it next to two like really dry lines from yesterday and the day before. But even now it's dried, it looks the same as yesterday. I mean, I think fractionally lighter, but if not fractionally lighter, definitely the same. But I'm just freaking out. I feel sick. I just want to have like the pregnancy blood tests that show the HCG hormone in your blood, because then that tells you, like, that should be doubling every 2 days, and then that kind of tells you how viable the pregnancy is, and I just want to know that. I hope in 9 months, 8 months, I look back on this time and just think, you should have just enjoyed yourself. You should have just enjoyed it. But right now, that is not how I feel. It is 10 days since my transfer. Of course, I did another test this morning because, like, you know, I'm addicted, and it was lighter again. My hope is going, and I'm feeling pretty disappointed and down. I was really aware that this could happen, and I was worried about it. When the line was not darker yesterday, I just had a feeling. So if I show you, this was this morning, and this was 8 days. My vitamins must turn the pea yellow. Where are you? So, I don't know if you can see, but 8 definitely darker than 10. So yeah, tomorrow's my official testing day, when I need to ring my doctor and tell him if I'm pregnant or not. I've just got a feeling tomorrow I'm not going to be pregnant, and the test is going to be negative. Today was my official testing day. Woohoo! I did a test, and I did one of those clear blue digitals, and it came up pregnant, 1 to 2 weeks. And then I waited a couple of hours and I did another one of the first response, and again the line was lighter, so I just have got a really bad feeling. But if you know, from reading lots of things, it can go one of 2 ways, can't it? So I messaged my doctor and told him that my pregnancy test was positive this morning, because it was positive. And you know what, if I had tested just on my testing day, then I'd be none the wiser. So I'd probably be really effing happy right now, because there's a line and it's clearly a positive pregnancy test. But I didn't. I tested throughout the week, and so I'm freaking out. So I've got a blood test tomorrow. My doctor was like, congratulations, that's great, you don't need to go for a blood test. And I'm like, no, please, can I go for a blood test? As you can imagine, I've been driving myself absolutely crazy. I just want to know either way. I've prepared myself for the worst. I think it'd be different if I was living in like this bliss pregnancy world and it all came crashing down. It's not going to be like that for me. Like, I'm fully prepared. So it'd be good to know either way. Keep your fingers and toes crossed for me while I go for my blood test tomorrow. So I'm on my way to go and get bloods. Haven't had time to dry my hair because I've been rushing about, and I promise I'm not crying, it's just the wind and probably the fact that I got up late. It's making my eye water. I feel like it's gone. I feel like my pregnancy's gone. I don't feel anything like physical. I feel pretty sad, but also, like, I'm not crying, I promise. It's watering. Yeah, I feel pretty sad, but also, like, just want to know, and just want to kind of have a definitive answer, and then a plan moving forward, whatever that may be. But I think I know. So I wanted to give you a quick update after my blood test. So that was Saturday. And I was meant to get the results on Saturday, but I didn't. They said to call them on Sunday. So I called them on Sunday and they didn't answer the phone. I say they, it's my consultant, so I'm dealing directly with him. And then he sent me a text to say that the HCG level in my blood was 5. It said something about 5. And then that meant that I'd had a really early miscarriage. So I feel pretty flat and down. There was a few tears. But do you know what? For all of my testing, which drove me mad, I'm pleased that I did it because I wasn't shocked. I mean, you know, like I told you, the pregnancy tests were getting lighter. I did a lot of researching after that. So I just knew to expect bad news. And by Sunday, I just knew anyway. Like, I can't explain it, I just knew. I will keep you on my journey. I've got an appointment with my consultant on Thursday at 1 to talk about next steps. I'm guessing the next step is going to be another frozen embryo transfer, because obviously, as you know, I've got another frozen embryo who is also not a great grade. Keep thinking, would I do anything differently? And I think I would. So I think I would test early again. I think I can't help it. I'm a early tester. I've got no self-control. I'm really impatient. I think I would test on day 6 or 7, probably. I got a positive reading, a really strong positive readings on those days. So I'll probably test on one of those days, probably day 6. And then I would just not test until my date of testing, which would be like 4 days later. So I wouldn't have that limbo, like probably would be anyway, but at least then I'd also know whether it was a chemical, because I think that's important to know. Sorry, I had to jump off then, so I cut off abruptly, but I think I got to the end of it with what I would do differently. Yeah, I just need to wait now and see what's going to happen on my next attempt. Similar grade embryo. So all you can do is keep your fingers crossed, isn't it? It's a numbers game, so hopefully at some point my number will be one of the lucky ones. But anyway, thank you for following me on this journey, and hopefully I will see you on the next steps. Bye.